Subhash Piosi of Marketing Podcast MTACTIQ. Feels much privileged to welcome you all. You are listening to the podcast with the theme Transformation of People's Life. And now let's sit down with a cup of coffee for next 45 minutes to discuss the ideas, opportunities, and strategies from an eminent person. His name is Mr. SAI KRISHNA RAO, Senior General Manager of Schneider Electric. Welcoming you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. I don't see any one of you except Parvati, so thank you.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Now, I'm handing over the session to Bhavya and Asta, the two marketing students. We're going to, continue this show with the questionnaire. Over to you.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. What's your good name again?
So my name is Bhave.
Bhave. Wow. You're from Maharashtra?
No, sir, I'm from Punjab.
Bhave?
So from Punjab.
Oh, wow. But Bhave is Bhave or Bhave?
It's Bhave.
Bhave. Okay. Bhaves are from Maharashtra. Okay, very good. Nice meeting you. Who's the other person?
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Here.
What's your good name?
Astha.
Asta. And you're from?
Punjab, sir.
Wow. So Punjab is online. All right, go ahead. Let's start.
Okay.
Okay. For my information, this is related on how is it related to the students, other students?
Sorry, sir, I couldn't hear you.
How is it related to the other students, this program? Can you hear me? Okay, can you?
If you want the speaker to become.
Yeah, that works.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. It's fine now.
Okay, I just want to know how is it related to other students? How are they seeing it?
How are they seeing it?
So, they are like viewing this online. So they've joined with us online.
Okay, how many of them are there right now?
No, probably you can take it up and you know the podcast. You
Sir,
can explain about what is the podcast even you should have.
Sir, actually, yeah. So actually, sir, there will be students joining like in between the sessions. As of now, we can't see the number of students, but then we have shared the link to all of the classes and all. So basically, this works like every week, or maybe in 2 weeks, we'll be sharing these links. The podcast will be happening, so that way it works.
All right. Good.
Yeah, and also this will be uploaded in our official YouTube channel.
All right. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You can continue this.
Yes, Bhavesh.
Okay. So, sir, what are the activities that you do as a part of your job? As your profile says that you're head of education department at Schneider. At current, you're working creating digitally complement engineers and technical professionals. So, what does it intend?
Okay, very good. So thank you for giving me this opportunity, all of you. Christ University, Parvati, and the whole team. So coming to the first question, what do I do, or what does Schneider do in the area of education? I think that's very important.
Yes.
See, what we are creating is a ecosystem of digitally competent engineers. See, there is a lot of disruption happening in technology today, and we are seeing that students coming out from the colleges are not industry ready, and it takes a lot of time for them to actually get ready to contribute to the industry, whereas the demand is high, and so we want to shorten the time of their opportunity to contribute. The second thing that we also see is traditionally Indian learning, especially in technology, is very engineering colleges, be it from ITI or diploma engineering colleges, they're very theoretical based. Not many hands-on experience. In fact, I remember when I passed out of engineering in '87 from BMS College, I doubted whether I was an engineer because I didn't know what exactly it meant to do something. But we knew something, we didn't know how to do something. So we want to introduce, along with the curriculum that they study, various technologies that they have, and especially digital technologies, in the area of smart city technologies and smart manufacturing technologies, such that when they come out, they have a fair sense of how they can actually contribute to the industries that they're joining. and they're industry ready as well. So that's the ideology behind education. So what do? Is we work with technical institutions right from ITR to engineering colleges, with universities, setting up center of excellence centers in the area of smart city technologies and smart manufacturing technologies. We also work with the government, both at the national level as well as the state levels. So each of the state has got the skill development ministry, right? They want to set up skill development centers. So we advise them the kind of skill development centers that they need to put up, so that the students, either after the graduation or during their curriculum, can come learn in these centers and they become employable. So it is more of, I was part of a skill summit just this week at Global Skill Summit in Delhi. The theme was education to employment. So that's what we're doing, education to employment. Of course, the last part I want to say is, all of you are aware, IT is a big deal in India. Every engineer today, be it electronics, electrical or mechanical engineer, finally move to an IT company. The impact of that is the core industries are suffering, not having the right kind of skills. We are afraid that next 7 to 8 years, we may not find an electrical engineer or a mechanical engineer or a civil engineer for that matter, because everybody is moving to the IT. It's like a peer pressure, whatever we call it. They move it there. It will have a greater impact on the economy of the country. Imagine you don't get an electrical engineer. There's a power. As years go on, people retire. We need fresh, talent coming in. But if that pool is stopped, there is going to be a dangerous situation for us. Everybody thinks short term. I think we also need to think long term. So we, as Schneider Electric, have taken the responsibility to actually work with academia to bridge this gap. That's what we are doing. So that's in short for you, Bhavin. But a good question.
Thank you, sir.
So, sir, my next question for you is, what challenges do you face when you see people with technically qualified with a managerial background? So how do they get into this professional work environment, and what are the challenges usually they face?
See, it's good to have technical people coming with the managerial education. It's good to have, because management is something part of when you are going to industry at every level, there is management happening. Not having managerial skills will be definitely a drawback, but it's good to have. But so that will help them grow in the career ladder if they come with the management knowledge, because they start as an individual contributor and then they become a team lead or manage a team, etc. However, the moment you have management education, we have seen, there's a myth in students. They directly want to be a manager because they have a managerial education. That doesn't go well in reality, because if you have to manage something, you got to know what's happening on the ground, right? You got to make your hands dirty. You have to learn things. Only then you will be able to empower others, or get things done from others. So otherwise, you're disconnected with the reality. So mere knowing something about what management is about does not make anything. One has to apply the learning, and that will give them the wisdom. So two things that they need to be well aware of is get enough wisdom and skills on the fundamentals that they learn. If you are an electrical engineer, be that. If you're a finance person, have a lot of skills on the finance part. If you're marketing, have that market knowledge. The salesperson, management comes later, right? First, gain that strong foundation of it. Then you can be a good manager or even a good leader. Okay, because the issues that you face when you are a manager, right, is what you will have to deal with. What's happening on the ground, right? Not from an ivory tower. So their decisions will not work on the long term, and it impacts the growth of the organization and breaks the team itself. So that's the challenge. Challenge in the sense, we see that the mindset is that when you come from a management school, you believe you have to give a management role.
Right.
Yeah. And then they feel very upset. I'm a MBA from so and so, from IIM and stuff like that. They asked me to do this, but I thought, of course, there are experienced people doing an MBA and coming. That's a different level. But the fresh graduates who complete their, the degree and then go to MBA, they have this challenge, that mindset challenge, which they need to come away, have, the maturity that they have to learn what's on the ground and then take up managerial. Yeah, that's what I would like to share.
So, sir, as you told us that you look for some leadership qualities and a person that comes into the professional life. So, what would be a list of 3 skills that you see as essential skills for any MBA graduate that we should work on and should work on getting a company like of yours?
Got it. So, whether it's a company like us or not, there is one thing that very critically lacking in the planet today, which is also identified by national research on skilling. The primemost thing is that there is a lack of systems thinking. Systems thinking about thinking from, not from what I want, from what the ecosystem wants. Today, if you see the way we have developed ourselves, the human beings conduct ourselves is that we're disconnected completely with the nature, right? So we are consuming 1.5 times more resources from the nature than nature can produce, the planet can produce. Why? Because we don't care. We're disconnected to that. We're also disconnected with people today. Statistics say around 58 people in the world own more than 50% of the wealth of the planet. That means a bus full of people, wealth is equivalent to 50% of the wealth of the planet. That means we are disconnected with people. So there is a very big imbalance about wealth distribution. The third thing is that we are disconnected with ourselves. That is who we are today and who we want to be tomorrow. There's a big disconnect. And therefore, the outcome of that is suicide rates are very high. 800,000 people die committing suicide every year, which is more than people dying out of war, people dying out of pandemic, all put together in the planet. And this is simply because people are by default operating from the context of ego, like a boundary like I, like a boundary like we, like a team, a boundary like a department, a boundary like a college. I'm talking from a college context, or an organization. So they don't think beyond that, right? So all that what you produce in the planet today, be it a product, be it an offer, everything comes from what you want as a company, what you want as an individual. There's so much of thinking oriented to I want, we want to win at the cost of anything. So we don't care about what others, what happens to others. If we win, if we get money, we get wealth, we survive, we are healthy, that's enough. Others, no problem. And that's what you see is the core issue of the planet today. And that's the reason is that because we are also thinking from a boundary. But systems thinking is all about looking from a systems point of view. If I do something, what's the impact on the planet? What's the impact on the people? Right? What's the impact on the group? What's the impact? Everything. You look at the stakeholders and start thinking about creating something, making something happen. The moment we start developing ourselves, shifting from, we call from ego to eco. Yeah, you produce things unimagined, and there are a lot of examples of that happens today in the planet today. Organizations do it when they shift from ego to ecosystem. So systems thinking is one thing. I think the topmost skill I would put that one has to learn as management graduates. Second is communication. See, no matter what we do, we communicate with each other. People are the heart of the matter of everything. And what we don't learn is we don't learn to deal with communication, like really masterful in communication. Especially, the research says you got to be skilled in complex communication. So the good talks are always there. Hi, had your food, let's go to a movie. These are simple communication. But when you have a breakdown, right, when your points of view don't match, and there are groups having multiple views, how do you actually align to everything? How do you communicate in a way that there is alignment happening? What we say is moving from debate to dialogue. See, normally it's all about debate. I tell a point and then I'm right about it. I don't want to listen to you at all. But the dialogue is what is very important. That is, I share my point of view and I'm willing to listen to your point of view. And then together, when we keep doing it, we create something which is works for everybody. So complex communication skills is the second skill that is required. Otherwise, you will not last long. You would be, you would become a hero, but not really a leader. The huge difference becoming a hero and a leader. But the world wants leaders who can actually solve problems, complex communication. Have the skill of complex communication. The other thing is, we can always solve routine problems, common sense. But the challenge is non-routine problems. So the third skill is able to solve non-routine problems. A breakdown happens, like a disaster happens, pandemic happens. It is non-routine, huge. Of course, that's at the level of the planning. But if you look at an organization, breakdowns happen like day in, day out. What you promise can't deliver. There is a short of material or a short of, the power failure. A lot of things happen every day. Non-routine. It's not routine. And during that time, how do you deal with it? What are some of the principles you'll operate from? How will you communicate those breakdowns? How will you align the team to make that happen? It's really complex when you look at non-routine problems are. So if you start developing your, being open to solve problems which are non-routine, breakdowns happen, says, wow, there's a breakdown. Something that we never foresee has happened now. How do you deal with it? What are the issues here? What are the issues here? What are the different ways we can deal with it? How do you align the team to deal with that? How do we communicate this? How do you articulate this? That's kind of a thinking that requires really shifting your focus from you to the issues over there and willing to contribute. So that's the third thing I would like to say. Of course, adaptability is another thing. You got to really adapt to situations and all that. That's a skill. You see, the whole deal again, it's people.
Right.
One
Sir?
skill is you don't know how to deal with people, you're not going to be successful. Yeah. Thanks for that wonderful question. Yes, Asta, you want to say something?
Yes, so adding to Bhave's question, so I would like to know what are some of the soft aspects which you look for while you're hiring people for the roles of like sales, business development, or say other marketing functions, if we say.
All right. So apart from that if you want to be a salesperson, of course, you will have to, or a marketing person, you have to do an MBA in marketing or sales, right? Or a finance person. Those things are given. But I think most important thing that anybody sees in organization is how is your attitude, and especially attitude to learning. See, people come with attitudes called because I've done this, because I've done that, I have to get this, I have to do that. So we can keenly listen to whether this person is willing to learn, open to learning as an attitude, or open to getting something, or is still focused on getting something, getting somewhere. This getting somewhere attitude is so very prevalent. It's actually no matter what you're qualified, how much you experience, doesn't go well with the person itself, right? So attitude for learning, because learning takes you. So there is a saying called attitude takes you to altitude. If you have a learning attitude, it takes you to the altitude. So learning attitude. Second is, what are your values? What are your values based on? Is your value based on, do you value money? Not wrong, but only money? Or do you value growth? Do you value learning? Do you value, integrity? Do you value responsibility? What are your values? Right? So that's what another thing that because you got, say, no matter who you are, you got to get aligned with the values of the organization. Right? So for example, one of the values of organization of Schneider is learning. Another is responsibility. So we listen to that. Third is, do you have a vision for yourself? What's your vision? And is that vision ego vision or an eco vision? Is that you want to contribute something or you get something? So you want to create something, right? So what is the second is, what is your so if you're coming into organization, you would like to know we would be at least knowing that, okay, you know about Schneider, and how would you try to fit in there? You have a vision of it. How would you contribute to Schneider business? And this is not only Schneider, any organization. No matter who you are, okay, I want a job, but what value would you bring to the organization? What's your vision and what value to the organization? I think these are the critical aspects people try to forget. They try to do a lot of on their subject matter, which is good, which is required, because if you don't have subject matter expertise, then you don't get selected in the first place. But the other aspects are all very important. So I think these are three things that came up to my mind I would like to share. Thank you for that question, Asthi.
So, sir, as you mentioned about the attitude, so in your experience, what personality or attitude aspect of you has helped you progress in your career and head business units? And what can youngsters like us learn?
Yeah, I think as I've been talking, telling about the previous question also, I think what helped me is the learning attitude to grow. If you look at my career profile in LinkedIn, I have grown wide. I've not grown, I've not focused my career to, okay, today I'm an engineer, tomorrow I have to be a senior engineer, then I have to be a deputy manager, then the manager, then the senior manager, then the vice, like that. I didn't go. That's called learning from a progression in mind. Just a couple of weeks ago, I was delivering a keynote address with Shell in the learning festival over there. There it was all about sharing my career, and I was sharing with them that the normal mindset is how do I progression learning. Another is start learning from a functional based learning, building a career from okay, today you're in marketing, can I be in finance tomorrow? Can I be in production tomorrow? It may not really, but that's what is required when you go up in the ladder, that you have an insight on the various functions of the organization. You worked in various functions of the organization, and that requires a learning attitude. So the key there is when an opportunity is thrown to you, most people ask why. Right? I believe in why not. Somebody gives you an opportunity, you can ask why should I do it? Or ask yourself, why not? So that's one thing that helped me grow in my career. Second, it's not the second thing that I think very important. It's not enough that you have a vision, right? You got to align. Firstly, you have to create a vision, align the team for a powerful vision, and those visions shall be about benefiting all the stakeholders, not only you, the organization, the teams, customers, everybody. So the second thing I think helped me is create a vision and create and align the team for a powerful vision that will benefit all stakeholders. Okay. The third thing is, I think what helped me grow in my career is taking full ownership, doing what it takes to fulfill on the promises without compromising on values and ethics. Full ownership. And this is very confronting for people. People would like to do what they are supposed to do. They don't want to go beyond that. But that becomes limited. But if you can go beyond that, take full ownership for your team, full ownership for your organization, full ownership for whatever you promise, and do it with following values and ethics, right? Without compromising that. That will show you up as a diamond in the heap, right? So that will allow you to grow further. So these are three things I think help me, because I'm telling, if I had not taken those pathways that I chose, I wouldn't have been where I am today. And I have seen my colleagues who did not take it, they retired doing the same thing for 20, 25 years, cribbing that they didn't get opportunities in life. Okay, thank you for that.
So my next question for you is, what is that one thing that people usually get stuck with while they are going up the ladder in the business domain? So usually what do they lack? Well, after a certain work experience, they are not able to move up the ladder. So what is usually?
Very good. So see, people come with different expertise, be it technical expertise, or it could be financial expertise or whatever, HR, whatever. So first thing is they start mastering that, right, when they get into a career. Now, once they start mastering something, they become comfortable. So the sickness that most people go through is most people want to be really comfortable in life. What do you want? I want a good job, right? Good payment, good house, car, then have a good, wife or a girlfriend or a children. I want to be comfortable. Right? This is what people are getting into. The aspiration levels are to become comfortable. But when you get comfortable, you also get to think an ego called you are indispensable. But the world is fast changing, right? And what happens is when you are comfortable and you are sitting in your head that you are indispensable because you are certain expertise and all that, you get completely disrupted by innovation that's happening. And suddenly, overnight, you seems to be not any more of relevance at all. And suddenly you become uncomfortable. But it's too late sometimes when you get uncomfortable. We say those who are dead are comfortable. Those who are alive are uncomfortable. So if you are uncomfortable, consider you're alive. And if you are comfortable, consider you're dead. Dead people are comfortable, isn't it? In the coffin, when you go, you're comfortable. So don't be. So I'm not asking you to be unnecessarily be uncomfortable, but being aware that there are things changing, and you got to be aligned with knowing what's happening and keep getting out of the comfort zone. Shift the context of being comfortable to shift the context to developing yourself. That's one thing. Okay, so that's one thing challenges expertise face. Other thing is they don't learn the trends. So you got to keep watching the different trends that's happening, right? The geographical trend, the energy trend, the people trend, right? Lot of trends are changing. So you have to step out from your comfort, learn the trend, and begin to innovate. Innovate in what you are already doing. You don't have to do something different outside the box, but whatever you're doing, you can start innovating it, right? So this is extremely important for one to progress in their career if they have to, especially if you have to move into leadership position. Thirdly, the other thing is they neglect developing themselves, right? Especially in people management skills and lack the ability to learn. One of the, again, when you ask me top 3 skills, one of the other important skills, actually top 5 skills, I told you 4th was adaptability. Third is self-management, self-development, and self-discipline. Self-development, nobody see you find okay, bahut ho gaya yaar. That's what they say. I've learned my MBA now, I've done my PhD now, I've got this position now, no more learning. Who has to learn? All the people below me. So learning becomes like a last priority or no priority at all, and they forget of developing skills, and they at one point not able to lead the teams. So these are some of the critical areas that people have to watch out for. One is being comfortable, right? Second is not able to sense the trends that are happening and innovating. Third is not developing themselves. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So, sir, a company like Schneider, which has traditionally been into electrical, now it's moving forward by introducing development centers and working on the latest technologies like AI. So, in what direction do they see themselves moving towards in the next few years? And is it identical with the entire industry, or is it just Schneider to create a differentiation or a uniqueness?
Yes, sir.
I think that's a very good point. Very, very good point. Very relevant. So one of the things I think all of you are aware is everything is getting digitized today. The Internet of Things that we talk about, it's prevalent in every aspect of our life today. And that is true in the business that we are doing, the Internet of Things. So with the Internet of Things happening, right, there is a very important transformation that is happening. With the, today 30 billion, we have 4 billion people connected, right, through the mobile phones, right, or the internet. But most people are not aware that we have 30 billion products are connected. That is how much 4 is going into 4 billion people, 30 billion products. That is 7 times more the size of the human being. Products are connected. Okay. And with transformation happening in mobility, or technology changes happening in mobility, cloud, sensors, analytics, and cybersecurity, there is a disruption in technology. What is the disruption as Schneider sees it? See, we are very good at operation technology. Say, for example, you want energy management. See, Schneider is a leader in uh, electrical technology, automation technology. Okay, so we would suppose you want energy management. We provide all the electrical products, everything, right? We do that, and then today each of them have got connected. So we start getting data from that. The second thing that, sorry, I skipped the one point. Let me tell you once again. We used to give products and we used to automate the functioning of the product. The first layer is the product layer. The second layer is the automation. Now what has happened is the product layer, they are connected. So data from the product layer is now available to us. We are able to find out what's happening in a switch. We are able to find out what's happening inside a motor. We are able to find out what's happening inside a transformer, or what's happening in a generator, or any machine for that matter. We can put sensors and we see how the machine is behaving. The data is we can collect. Now, what do we do with the data? We can use to automate it, but the third layer is what? The third layer is analytics layer. That data that we're taking up, and we are able to analyze the data and actually give solutions to our customers to be more efficient and more effective. Efficient in terms of energy management, for example. A lot of energy now can be saved without wasting energy from finding those data from the product line. Effectiveness. See, effectiveness, there is this process called preventive maintenance in factories. Manufacturing lines are shut down every 5 weeks for preventive maintenance, so the line is available for more production. But today, everything is digitized. We can read what's happening in each of the machines and take for shutdown only if it is going to fail. So we can move from preventive maintenance to predictive maintenance because all the digitization happens. We call the third layer, the new layer for at Schneider, we call it EcoStructure layer. So today we have a third offering. We are energy management, automation, and software. So we are more a software company today. What are we offering? We are offering software solutions to making customers more efficient, productive, right? So that's what we are doing right now. So everything is now data-oriented analytics. It's the last layer that we're sitting on. Okay? So that's how Schneider is moving. Not only Schneider, ABB, our competitors maybe, or maybe Siemens maybe, or Emerson maybe. We call it as a digital layer. So there's a lot of software engineers working in our companies now. In Bangalore alone, we have 12,000 engineers in software working in Bangalore. Okay, so that's how operation technology has got converged with the information technology. So it's no more, it's multidisciplinary. It's no more electrical is distinct, electronics distinct, software is distinct, mechanical is distinct. It's all converged together. It's multidisciplinary, and that's true not only for us, for everybody. Okay, thank you.
Yes.
So as we are seeing that many of the business decisions, especially marketing decisions, are highly technology oriented also. So is this convergence there for a long term, or is it a fad? What do you think, according to what?
Definitely not for a fad. It's here, real. See, as I told you in the previous thing, everything is getting digitized, right? So that's a lot of power. Digital information is a lot of power. Now, earlier, we used to do a lot of analysis based on concepts and stuff, formulas or concepts, theories. If this happens, this happens, this happens, that happens. But today, for example, this whole week, what's the consumption pattern of India for a particular item? You can get it straight away from interlinking what's bought on Amazon, what's bought on Flipkart, all the online buying platforms. You can aggregate and say, this is what in the month of October, this is what is consumed, right? Now, if you can get the data, you can start producing next year in August, September. You can make your factories oriented to produce what is consumed in October for the month of Dashera or for the week of Diwali, right? Not producing things with the hope that it will be consumed. So you are more demand-based manufacturing. I can give an example rather than forecast-based manufacturing. What is needed is required because data is available. Data is the king today, right? So likewise, what was liked, what is not liked, what is accepted, what is not accepted. So if your marketing, one of the important criteria in marketing is finding the need of the customer. Now you could assume that, or you could actually base it on data, right? And then stitch offers and solutions to meet those needs in the market, right? So data is going to be the king. Data is available. It's going to continue. It's going to continue multiple ways. It's going to go to every aspect of your life. So you just can't be without data. So, but your decisions will be now much more accurate, much more as needed, right? So that's what you go. So while you study your marketing theories, right? But you can't neglect any more data analytics. So if you're a marketing person, if you do data analytics or data mining as a subject, if you learn about those things, it will be much more effective for you to deliver on your role rather than only coming from a marketing standpoint. Because a lot of things have changed. A lot of myths in marketing have got broken because of data, because of the data that is available. That's also true today, right? You see, everybody thought money, higher money, nobody will buy. Okay, higher the cost. That myth got broken. If you look at the number of people buying Apple phones, completely there is no correlation for that and number of people have. Everybody aspires to have an Apple phone, or if something is cheap, everybody will buy. The Tata car. What is that car? Name of the what is that car? Nano. Nano completely failed because it got related to as a poor man's car. Nobody wanted to be known as a poor man, though it was available at 2 lakhs of rupees, isn't it? So these are very important today. Data is very important. AI is going to be there. Productivity is going to be the name of the game. Such that you can do better things in life rather than doing hard work. Nobody believes in hard work now. Hard work is it's like you got to be smartly working. You got to really be working to live a great life rather than doing hard work. Okay? And data helps you in that. AI helps you. Okay. Thank you. Did I answer your question?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
So that brings us to end of this our questions. Now I would like to invite Parvati to present vote of thanks.
Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Wish you all the best, guys. Both of you, Bhave and Asta, and all those people who are online.
All right. A big thank you to Mr. Sri Krishna Rao for sharing your insights. Sai Krishna Rao for sharing your insights over the theme, Transformation of People's Life. Special thanks to our venerable faculty coordinators, Dr. Rupesh Kumar, Dr. Dilip Chandra, Dr. Vedam Balaji, for being strong catalysts to make this podcast session happen. A deep sense of appreciation to all the technical coordinators for supporting us. Sincere gratitude to all of the marketing podcast team and the anchors. Thank you so much. Now, I'm not thanking the listeners. I'm sure you'll be back to the next session next week. Thank you so much.
Welcome. Thank you, everybody, for listening to me. Thank you for your pristine listening. This is very important. Thank you for this opportunity to contribute. Thank you. Have a great day. Happy Navratri, and soon the happy Diwali as well.
You too, sir. You too.
Thank you. Namaste.